Hey Jeff, this is Bruce. Hey, just wanted to go over a couple things with you. Something we had talked about a lot was like shoving ranges and being down to 10 big blinds or what have you, and just letting the odds play out. Because last video I watched, there was a couple times that you should have shoved and you didn't, and there's a couple other times that you did shove when or called, I think, where it didn't make the best sense. So I know like two specific hands were pocket twos and pocket fours, and you said specifically a couple times how pocket twos, how you hated pocket twos. So I just wanted to show you some statistics. This is Poker Stove, so it's really great in figuring out what your equity is, basically what your percentage chance of winning a hand with specific hand ranges and specific hands. So what I want to do is input a couple numbers in here. So what we're going to do is let's just specifically say you have pocket twos. Okay, so we're going to click on here. So you have pocket twos, could be any of these combinations. So two of spades, two of clubs, two of hearts, two of clubs. All these different combinations of twos that you have. Okay, so we're going to make that your hand range, and this is specifically in like a blind versus blind situation. So let's say you're in small blind with pocket twos. And then the big blind, so we can put any combination of hands in here. So let's say, and basically when I guess you're afraid of shoving pocket twos because they might have a better hand. I mean, that's the only reason why you would be afraid of shoving that. So let's say they have any pair and any Broadway, which would be all these hands here. So ace king, ace queen, ace 10, king 10, any Broadway cards could be suited or unsuited. Now let's say they're also willing to call you with any ace. Okay, so click on these. So that's ace 9 through ace deuce off, and these are all the suited aces. Okay. All right. And let's just say that they've got a pretty wide range, and they'd be willing to call you with 10-9 suited, 9-8 suited, and let's even say 7-8 suited. Let's say they wouldn't call you with 7-8 off, 9-8, or 10-9 off, not any of those offhands. So I think that's a pretty a fairly wide range. I mean, obviously, if you have like 8 big blinds and the big blind is chip leader with like 50 big blinds, obviously they're going to call with a wider range of hands. They'll call with a lot of king or queen suited hands, jack suited hands. So you always have to take that in consideration. But if you got 10 big blinds and they've got less than 30, I mean, they're going to have a tighter range, because even if they have 30 big blinds, if they lose to you and you have 10 big blinds, they're down to 20 big blinds, and that's kind of like the first level of danger zone. So you've got to pretty much figure that after 30 big blinds or less, this is a pretty good range of hands that they would be willing to call you on, if not tighter. I'm willing to bet that they would be even tighter if they had 30 big blinds or less. So first of all, let's just take a look at this. This right here, 28.5, that means that there's only less than 30% of the time they're going to have one of these hands. Okay, so think about that. Even if you have 7-2 off and you shove that, only 28.5% of the time are they going to have one of these hands, which means that these are the hands that we think that they would call with on your shove. So even if you have 7-2 off, 7 out of 10 times they're going to fold anyway. So that's what we're really trying to do, is steal the big blind. So keep that in mind. Even with the very worst hand, you're still going to steal that hand 72%, 71.5% of the time. Okay, so let's apply. Actually, let's take. Okay, so there we go. So we're going to apply this. Okay, so right here, this is your hand. You have pocket twos, and player 2, the big blind, has pocket threes or better, ace deuce suited or better, king 10 suited or better, queen 10 suited or better, jack 10 suited or better, 10-9 suited, 9-8 suited, and 7-8 suited. So that's all the hands that we clicked on. Okay, So let's say, okay, so we know that no matter what, if you shove, you're going to be ahead, or you're going to steal the pot probably 71.5% of the time. So even if you do get called and they have one of these hands, you're not dead to the water. So what we'll do is we'll evaluate this, and we'll see what your equity is. So this shows your equity, and it's running right now. It's done 9 million simulations, 12 million simulations. So it's going to keep going up. So it's going to do millions and millions of hands, simulated hands. So we can probably stop it here at 25 million samples. So let's say you shove and they have one of those big hands. So it's one of the 28% time that they have a big hand. They call you. So now you're going to go to a showdown. You're still only a slight underdog. You're a 55 to 44% underdog. So even if you do get called, almost 45% of the time you're going to end up winning, and then you'll double up. So I just want you to know that to see here that it's so lucrative to steal. So 7 out of 10 times you're going to steal on that blind without a contest. And less than 3 out of 10 times you will get called because he'll have a better hand. And when you do get called those 3 out of 10 times, you're going to win a little more than 1.5 times. Okay, so if you were to shove 10 times, you'll win 7 times without contest, and of those 3 times that you get called, you're going to win like about a little less than 1.5%, 1.5 times out of 3. So you add, let's just say 1.5 plus, let's not say 1.5, let's say 1.2. So 1.2 plus the 7 times you win uncontested, so 8.2 times out of 10. So let's say about 82% of the time that you shove, you're going to end up doubling up. Those are odds you can't pass up. You cannot pass up. Now you're going to feel pretty crappy if you shove 2-2 and then he does have aces or even a crappy hand like 7-8 and ends up beating you. But hey, that's only going to happen, statistically, probably about 20% of the time. So 2 out of every 10 times. So it's so lucrative, and it's imperative that you understand this so that you can stay alive and also build up chips when you get short stacked like that. So if you want to clear this, pocket 4s. You have pocket 4s on that one hand. So again, it's put in any pair for him, any Broadway, all aces, even ace deuce. Alright, we'll do the 10-9 suited again, 8-9 suited. I'm doing these because they're suited connectors. 7-8 suited, and that's why I'm not doing like 9 queen 9, because that's not a suited connector. It's a gapper. So we add those in again. Let's take out the pocket 4s. Alright, because you have the pocket 4s. Okay, so when you're shoving pocket 4s, he's only going to have one of these hands 28.1% of the time. So again, over 70% of the time that you shove blind versus blind with pocket 4s, he's going to end up folding because he's not going to have one of these hands. Okay, and then if he does call you, you go to showdown. We'll simulate it. And pocket 4s, you have an even better. It's almost 50-50. It's almost a coin flip with pocket 4s. So after 15 million samples, you would win the hand 49.331% of the time. So it's almost a perfect coin flip with pocket 4s, even if he calls you with pocket 5s or better, or has those overcards. So again, it's pretty pretty important that you shove those type of hands. Okay, so let's clear this and do one more sample. All right, so let's say I'm trying to think of a good shoving range, blind versus blind. I'm thinking let's say you have something like queen 9. Let's say queen 8 off. Let's see how that works out. So that's obviously that's not a great hand. Actually, let's just for the heck of it, let's try something really crappy. So let's say like 9, I don't know, maybe like 9-3 off. So it's not even a straight. That's not even a a gapper. You can't get the you can plot the 4, 5, 6 and not get there with a straight between the 3 and the 9. So let's try this out. So let's say you have this, okay, 9-3 off, and then player 2, the big blind. Again, he has any pair, any Broadway, any ace. And then again, let's go with the 10-9 suited. These are the suited connectors. Okay, so let's go with that again. Okay, so again, only 28.5% of the time he's going to have one of those calling hands. Okay, so even if you had 9-3 off, if you shove it, 71.5% of the time he's going to fold because he's not going to have one of these hands. Again, if he has a bigger stack, or maybe he's a little more willing to gamble, he may call with a wider range. But so 28.5, even if he has King 9 suited, King 8 suited, Queen 9 suited, 10-9 off, that's adding, how many more? 1, 2, 3, 4. I think I've added 4 more hand ranges, and you're still a 70% chance to steal that without a contest. Okay, so you can add in a lot more cards, and you're still going to win it a majority of the time. All right, so let's get rid of that. I'm going to clear this to make this easier for me. Okay, so again, any pair, any Broadway, any ace. He's only going to have these hands 28.5% of the time. 10-9, 9-8, 7-8 suited, right? So 28.5% of the time. Okay. So let's say he calls you. You're thinking, oh my God, 9. Why did I shove 9-3 off? Well, let's see how it plays out. So after about 10 million hands, all right. So by now we have 30 million hands, and so if you get called, yeah, you're going to be a 70-30 underdog. But I mean, you're not dead to the water. I mean, there is still a chance. But the thing is, all those times that you steal, you're going to steal the blind 70% of the time, and the other 30% of the time that you get called, you're still going to win a third of them. So if you get called 30% of the time, you're going to win a third of those, so 10%. So 70 plus 10 is 80. So you're still winning 80% of the time. You're still going to double up. You're still either going to steal or double up 80% of the time. That's great odds. So yeah, you're going to kick yourself every once in a while when you lose with your 9-3 off, but hey, that's worth it. That you got to take those gambles sometimes. And like I said, when you're sitting with 10 big blinds, it's gonna be hard to win a big big payday anyway with 10 big blinds, unless you get really lucky at the right time. So you've got to build those chips eventually, and stealing blinds will help you to stay alive, and until you are able to collect a big hand. So hope this helps a little bit. We can certainly do other hand ranges and other calculations if you want, but really take a look at this and analyze it and look at what we talked about. And if you get a chance, because I know you probably won't be playing for a little while, look at your videos, okay, and then kind of replay what you did before. Okay, so talk to you later. Bye.